Hi there and welcome to a very quick tutorial that's going to show you how to animate text in After Effects. What we're going to be doing is making this right here. Very fancy, and then you can see up here, the text goes away. I know you don't have much time, so I'm going to get through this quickly for you so you can get on with your work. We're going to go into After Effects, hit Composition, New Composition, and hit OK. Make the comp size whatever size you want. Alright, we're going to create some text here, so we're going to go up to a text tool. Click inside the comp window and type, "Hello, you," because that's what we wrote today. So that's what it says. All right, we put that down there. And what we're going to do to animate this, obviously it's not going to animate right now, there's a few ways. I'm going to show you first how I made this, and then I'll show you some other ways to animate text inside After Effects, and hopefully get done within like 5 minutes or so. Twirl down on this little triangle, and then twirl down on... oh no, I'm sorry, let's hit this first. Let's hit the animate button and let's hit enable per character 3D. That's going to give us some animation options. And then we're going to twirl down, swirl, twirl, do whatever you want. This little tab under transform. We can see here that we have 3 different rotation types. We can rotate our text like that, we can rotate our text like that, or we can rotate our text like that. But that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is something a little fancier. So we're going to go ahead and hit our animation tool again, and we're going to hit rotate. Now watch a rotation. Sorry, being technical. If we click that, you can see right here, this new animator little option thing pops up. That's what it's called. The technical term is option thing. And now we have control over our text in some really cool ways, some per character ways. And this, we're going to use this one under Y. So, excuse me, what we're going to do is start with our text as gone as we can. We want to get it to where we can't really see it much. So I'm at 88% right there. And we're going to hit the little keyframe button right there. Let's go down in the timeline just a few, I don't know, like maybe let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames or so. And then we're going to bring our text back to 0, revealing it like that. And so right there we have this going on. That was way too quick. So let's move this second keyframe out a little ways. And I'm hitting the plus button to zoom in on my timeline here. All right, that's a little better. Now we want to make this a little smoother, so let's go ahead and click on this timeline and then right click to open up this panel of options. Go down to Keyframe Assistant and hit Easy Ease In. And now we have that. Not bad. Now you can see in our original version we had this fancy, dancy lens flare behind. A lot of ways to create lens flares. The easiest way, and the way that I recommend, is hop on over to jasonsmixpot.com. This is my site, and this tutorial is really to promote this site, but I'm giving you free information at the same time, so don't get angry at me. I'm doing both, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Promotion and giving you value. Plus it's free, unless you want to pay for it, which you can do. But if you download the free version, you get a bunch of killer assets. This is Jason's Mixpot right here. And if you go into video assets, I should know that, and then over to flares and light, we can go down to single green flare, which is this one right here. And I'm going to pull that in. Actually, I already pulled it in, so I don't need to. Single green flare. And all I have to do, let me close up this tab, is throw that asset on top of my text. You can see that I don't see anything now, and that's because I need to change my transfer mode or composite mode to screen. And now we have that lens flare. And now all we have to do is, we can get rid of this black here. We don't need that. And let's just make our text, well, let's actually make the lens flare. Let's move it over, go right under the H. And so what we have here now is something like this. Not bad. And then if we want to animate this text out, as I did in the original, I'm going to go over to our text, hit U to bring up our keyframes. And all we're going to do is grab this keyframe, copy, Command-C, paste down here a little ways, Command-V. And then we're going to do the same with this first one. Command, bring the cursor down, and paste. And all we did is copied this keyframe over here so that our animation doesn't move, because it's going from here to here, exact same keyframe. This keyframe brought our text to that position, and so we just copied that so that it goes back to that position. So now we have this. Not bad. And then to kill off our text completely, you can either bring down the opacity Or we can come down here to our text and just drag this thing to the end so that when it moves over, it goes away. Done. How much time was that? Not too many. Not too many? Not too many times? Whatever I'm saying. I don't know what I'm saying. All right, I'm going to show you a quick couple other ways of animating text because that's what this tutorial is about, but I want to make it quick because I know you don't have much time. You're working on a project. I need to know how to animate this quickly. Let me show you a couple other ways that are even easier. So forget all that I told you about the animate and this animator here. Let's just get rid of all that. We don't need any of that. There's some other ways to animate text. It's very, very easy. Let's twirl down. Let's bring this back to default like you'll have it. Twirl down on this layer. We're going to twirl down transform. You can see here we have a lot of different ways of moving text around. And obviously anything in After Effects that moves can be animated. So if we, for instance, wanted our text to end right here. Whoops, let's get rid of this green flare. We don't need it now. I did my plug. And let's say we want it to fly in from behind the camera. It's very easy. So scroll down to where you want your text to end. Like I want my text to end here. Okay, so I'm going to hit scale. And I'm just going to go backwards a little ways. And we're going to, now there's a couple of ways to do this. There's always multiple ways of doing anything in After Effects. And you see the problem here is that it's not scaling the right way. We want it to move past the camera. So what we have to do is just this little thing here. This is our axis point. So everything's going to move around that. So if I rotate, you'll notice that it's moving around that point. Do you see that little thing there? The little blue, this little fellow here? Everything's moving around that point. What we want to do is move that to the middle of our frame. So I'm just going to use this tool right here. It's called the pan behind tool, and that allows me to move this little stinker, move it right in the middle. Now, because it's in the middle, you can see that everything moves around that point now, which is what we want. And that allows us to scale up, and it moves in like that. So let's scale to about there, and you can see it does that. Obviously, it's a little too slow. Let's make it a little bit quicker, and then it's also click our first keyframe, right click, go down to keyframe assistant, and let's make this an easy ease out. And let's see what we have there. Okay, not too shabby. We're going to make it fancier, don't worry. Next thing we want to do is we don't want it to just like appear there, right? We don't want it to be anything before this. So let's go into opacity right here, and we want the text to show up maybe about there. So we're going to hit that keyframe 100%. I'm going to go back a couple of frames and go 0, so there's nothing. So now we have that. It doesn't look quite right. That's not what I wanted. So let's just pull these two keyframes. These are our opacity keyframes we just made. I'm going to pull them down so that it lines up with this point, so that the animation actually starts to pull the text in before we see it. See, something along those lines, maybe a little slower even. It's okay. We can pull it in a little bit more maybe. And make it a little slower. Well, let's check that. That might be okay. Not too bad. It's still a little slow, so let's move this keyframe in a little bit more. That's not too shabby. Next thing we want to do, last thing we want to do actually, is just make this have some motion blur. Motion blur makes all text animation look way the heck better. So to make motion blur, it's very simple. What we need to do is click this toggle and switches modes, and that'll change our options here, give us some different options. What we want to click is this button. This means that now this layer, or any other layer that we enable this button on, if we had other layers down here, can now have motion blur. This is the master on and on button for motion blur. So if I click that, we now have motion blur, and look how much better it looks. Way the heck better. We can make this look even more better, because that's the incorrect way to say that. We can maybe hit easy in. This might look terrible. Let's try it out. Not bad. That's pretty sweet, right? That's basically how you animate anything in After Effects. We can make this text go in from the left or the right. If we click this button, we could say, hey, actually, I want you to come in. I want you to end here. So we're going to click the position button because that's where we're going to end. And we're going to say, actually, I want you to come in, though, from this side because that would be sweet. Would it? Probably not. But now it does. See? You can animate text very easily by just using keyframes. Hopefully that helps. I know it doesn't go super in depth, but hopefully you're just somebody who's like in a hurry, you're working on a project, maybe you're an editor and you're like, I need to animate text quickly in After Effects. That's how you do it. Hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and be sure, plug this for me, or let me sell you on this. Go to Jason's Mixpot, check it out, at least download the free version. I think you'll enjoy it a lot and maybe buy the full version. That's my goal here. I mean, I want to help you too, but, you know, go buy my Mixpot. All right, thanks for watching. Goodbye.